Hi, my name is Johnny Rich and I'm the Chief Executive of Push, and I've been asked to give a few tips about how to make the home learning environment more effective. So the number one tip is a quiet, private space, ideally not the kids' own bedroom, not where they have to sleep as well. And there should be no distractions, it should be nice and quiet. They shouldn't have any music on. Research tells us even any music in the background is distracting, and they shouldn't even have their phone in the room, let alone switched on beside them. But come on, that's all of this stuff not really practical. You know, who's got a spare room like that, and how are you going to drag them away from their phone and keep them quiet for hours on end? Well, firstly, it shouldn't be hours on end. Got to take regular breaks. 20 minutes of really hard sprint work is far more effective than an hour of trying to drill your brain and bore yourself. You know, the last 40 minutes will just be boring and you won't get anywhere anyway. So rather than have that boring environment for learning, which is good sometimes, but rather than have that quiet, boring, no distraction space, it's also quite good to make the whole home about learning. Try and create an environment where learning goes on all the time, because we learn better through interaction. Think of playing with a baby. The baby's learning all the time because their mind is open, they are interacting, they're enjoying it. So we learn better through social interaction. We learn better when we're having fun than when we're bored. And we learn by doing things more than we learn by just reading them. So the more active and interactive you can make it, the more people will enjoy learning and the more they will learn. So there are lots of things you can do. You can make games. Don't you make games? Get the kids to make games. Make them, when they're making their own game, you know, it could be a memory, it could be flashcards with facts on one side and questions on the other. Even a simple game like that. They are learning the facts when they're making those flashcards. But they can make complicated games as well, and then they can have fun playing them. Play them with you, play them with other students, and then it makes the learning into fun. Can even try and have study parties, you know, sessions where everybody comes over to study together, but you let it collapse into just fun, but fun around playing, around studying. Also, get them to teach you stuff. Don't try and teach them, get them to teach you. They get them to try and learn it from their book or to show you through their book, because then they're doing it. If they've got to process it in their heads in a way that they can explain it to you, then they're going to understand it far better. Never accept as an answer to a question, I don't know. You know, if they ask you something, then you shouldn't be saying, oh, I don't know. You should be saying, I don't know. Let's look that up. And then get online or get a book out and find out the answer. Or, you know, set up an experiment to try and find out the answer. Doesn't matter if it's not a great experiment or if your answer is not conclusive. As much as anything, you've left them with the question or left them with a new question. That's about engendering curiosity. That's fantastic. The mind works fastest when we want to know the answer. So curiosity, if you can develop that habit, and it is a habit, it's not something you're born with, or it is something you're born with, but it's something that you can develop more as you go, and you lose if you don't develop it. So the more you can build curiosity, the better that gets. It's a good idea to have schedules up around the house, their schedules. Maybe even your own, but their schedules, things like their school plan, their school schedule, their timetable, what lessons are on what days. So you can ask them at the end of the day, how was physics today? What did you do in drama? And get answers from them about those. You know, often it's just, I don't know. But after a while, you might get the odd one or two things, and then you can needle at those and hopefully draw some stuff out. But also, if you get them to put up their homework schedule, you can ask them about, oh, what did you have for maths today? If you can get them to put up their revision schedule, even better. And that revision schedule, by the way, should also include some fun things in it. But if you can share those kind of schedules in a public space, then when they tick things off on there, you can applaud that, you can celebrate it, you can even find ways of rewarding it. Now, when it comes to rewards are great for learning. We all love a reward. It gives us a big rush when we get a reward. And so getting a reward for learning makes us feel good about learning. And eventually you don't need the reward anymore. You just feel good about learning. But the rewards should be for what have you learned? What was the work you did, rather than how much time did you spend doing it? Time is, if someone spends an hour to learn a few things, that's not as good as them spending 10 minutes to do those things. So we should reward them for doing those things in 10 minutes. In fact, what we should reward is them doing those things at all. That's what matters, not how long they spend doing it. So that's my stuff on home learning environment. I hope that's useful.